Hey everyone, this is Aisha Earning Wali, and today I come with another topic and conduct session with ChatGPT. Today my topic is discuss how to identify and avoid toxic positivity. Let's call ChatGPT. Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing really well, thanks for asking. How about you? How's your day going so far?
Yeah, my day is going good. I'm fine.
I'm really glad to hear that. If there's anything you want to chat about or if you need help with something, I'm here and ready to jump in.
Yes. So today my topic is how to identify and avoid toxic uh,
Ah,
positivity.
exactly. Yeah. So toxic positivity is when people kind of push a constant everything is fine, just be happy mindset, even when it's not genuine or healthy. So definitely it usually involves noticing when emotions are being dismissed or when people are just told to look on the bright side without space for real feelings. Are you thinking about this in a personal context or maybe something professional?
In a professional way.
Ah, got it. Yeah. In professional settings, it's super important because it can really stifle open communication or even invalidate people's real challenges. So when you're spotting it, you might see things like leaders glossing over problems or teammates dismissing stress with a quick, it'll all be fine. So avoiding it is about creating that safe space where people can
Yeah, so how would you define toxic positivity and how does it differ from healthy optimism in personal and
express.
professional contexts?
That's a great question. So, toxic positivity is basically when there's this relentless push to stay positive no matter what, and it ends up invalidating real emotions like grief, frustration, or stress. Healthy optimism, on the other hand, acknowledges those tough emotions but still holds space for hope and solutions. So, in personal life, it's about being real with yourself and others, and professionally, it's about balancing encouragement with realistic support and empathy.
Yeah. So, what are the most common signs that indicate someone is engaging in toxic positivity rather than offering genuine support?
Yeah, definitely. Some common signs are things like dismissing someone's feelings with phrases like just stay positive or it could be worse without really listening. You might also notice they avoid acknowledging real problems or they insist on silver linings even when the situation's really tough. It can feel pretty isolating for the person on the receiving end.
Yeah. So, how can constant encouragement to stay positive negatively impact on individuals' emotional well-being?
Yeah, that's a big one. So when encouragement to staying positive is overly forced, it can make people feel like their struggles aren't valid. They might suppress their feelings, which can lead to more stress, anxiety, or even burnout. So instead of just pushing positivity, it's crucial to let people be heard, validated, and then from that place, offer hope and practical steps forward.
Yeah. So, how can leaders or managers unintentionally promote toxic positivity in workplace environments?
Yeah, it happens a lot, often without them realizing. For example, if a manager constantly says things like, don't worry, we'll figure it out, without really addressing specific issues, or if they avoid tough conversations by just saying, stay optimistic, they unintentionally set a tone where real concerns get brushed aside. So being transparent, acknowledging challenges, and giving people space to express frustration is key.
So, what psychological effects can arise from suppressing negative emotions due to societal pressure to appear positive?
Yeah, absolutely. So suppressing those negative emotions can lead to things like increased anxiety, depression, or even a sense of isolation because people feel silenced. Over time, this can create a lot of internal stress and it can really undermine self worth, especially if you feel like you can't be authentic.
Yeah. My next question is how can individuals develop emotional awareness to recognize when positivity becomes harmful?
That's a really important skill. One way is to practice regular self reflection, noticing how certain interactions make you feel in the moment. Journaling can help too, writing down when you feel dismissed or when you feel truly supported. And you can also build emotional literacy by labeling your feelings, just getting comfortable saying, I'm frustrated or I'm anxious. So you can catch those subtle shifts before they turn into that forced positivity.
Yeah. Um, my next question is tell me kindly what role does empathy play in replacing toxic positivity with meaningful emotional support?
Yeah, absolutely. Kindness is huge. When people respond with genuine kindness, they create a safe space where others feel truly heard. So instead of just brushing aside tough emotions, a kind approach says, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here with you. And that kind of validation paired with practical support really helps people feel less alone and more empowered.
Yeah, exactly. So, how can communication be improved to acknowledge difficult emotions without reinforcing negativity?
Yeah, that's a great balance to strike. It really comes down to using open, non judgmental language. So instead of jumping straight to a silver lining, you can say something like, I can see this is really hard. I'm here to listen and help however I can. And then if it feels right, you can gently explore next steps or positive actions, but only after really validating the emotion first.
Yeah. So, what strategies can individuals use to respond constructively when they encounter toxic positivity from others?
That's a really good point. One strategy is to set clear boundaries. So you can gently say, I really appreciate your optimism, but I'm struggling right now and I just need someone to listen. Another approach is to reframe with curiosity. Ask open questions like, what about this feels so difficult for you? And that way you stay grounded in reality while still being kind to yourself and the other person.
Yes. So, my next question is, how can organizations foster a culture that balances positivity with authenticity and emotional honesty?
Yeah, that's really crucial. Organizations can start by normalizing open conversations about emotions, so leaders can model that by sharing their own challenges and showing support. They can also provide training on emotional intelligence and make space for reflection, like regular check ins where people can talk about how they're feeling. And when positivity is expressed, it should be balanced with real, grounded problem solving so people feel truly seen.
Yeah. So, tell me, how can organizations foster a culture that balances uh, I want to set that, like, what are the practical ways to someone's feeling without offering cliches or dismissive reassurance?
Yeah, I see what you mean. So, a practical way is to really focus on active listening. So, you can reflect back what they're saying, like, that sounds really tough. I'm glad you told me. You can ask open questions like, what do you need right now? Or how can I best support you? And just by staying present, staying calm, and resisting the urge to fix everything immediately, you create that safe space for them to just be heard.
Yeah. So, like,
Exactly.
how can social media contribute to the spread of toxic positivity, and how can users navigate it mindfully?
Yeah, social media is a big driver of toxic positivity because everything is often curated to look perfect. So people feel like they have to mask their real emotions. To navigate it mindfully, users can be intentional about who they follow, curate a feed with more authentic voices, and take breaks when needed. And if they do share, they can focus on honesty, balancing the ups and downs so it feels more real.
Yeah. So, how can practicing self compassion help individuals move away from toxic positivity towards genuine emotional resilience?
That's a great point. Self compassion really helps because it allows people to be kind to themselves when they're struggling instead of feeling pressure to just stay positive. By acknowledging pain without judgment, they build this inner resilience. So over time, self compassion helps them process difficulties without feeling like they have to mask their emotions or rush to a positive conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah, so, what boundaries should individuals set to protect themselves from environment that encourage emotional suppression?
Yeah, boundaries are really key. So that might mean setting limits on how much time you spend on certain environments like social media or deciding how much you share in certain professional spaces. You can also communicate your needs, saying something like, I appreciate the positivity, but I really need to acknowledge how hard this is first. And by consistently enforcing those boundaries, you protect your own emotional health.
Yeah. So, like, how can practicing emotional intelligence help individual respond more authentically instead of relying on forced positivity?
Yeah, that's a great connection. Emotional intelligence really helps because it teaches you to recognize your own emotions and those of others, so you respond with awareness and empathy. Instead of defaulting to a quick, shallow cheer up response, you can name the feeling. For example, I see you're feeling overwhelmed. So the interaction stays real, validating, and also more supportive in the long run.
Yeah. So, like, what role does cultural or societal expectation play in promoting toxic positivity, and how can it be challenged effectively.
Yeah, culture and societal expectations have a huge role. Often we're taught to value happiness above all else, or we see success as never showing vulnerability. To challenge it, we need to promote a culture that values honesty. So we highlight stories of people facing challenges, we encourage balance, and we create spaces where it's okay not to be okay. And that starts with individuals and it spreads when we lead by example.
Okay, thank you so much. It would be a great conversation with you. So this is from my side. I have now I have ended this conversation. It would be really helpful for me and my audience as well. So take care. Allah Hafiz.